Hello everyone, we are taking a look at today the Seven Wonders Park by Ancient here in Sansar. And I kind of picked this place out of the blue. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to get here, to be honest, but I think this will probably be a neat little spot. Seven Wonders Park, just by looking at the preview alone, appears to be based on the Seven Wonders of the world, well, Seven Ancient Wonders of the world, in which only one is still in existence in the real world, which is the Pyramids of Giza. So it will be interesting to see an actual park made on the ideas of them. As some of them, like the Hanging Gardens, actually don't have any real particular evidence that they actually existed. Looks like they even have a map system made here, and signposts, so already I'm actually fairly impressed with this build. And we can see a number of the exhibits: Hanging Gardens, Colossus of Rhodes, the Great Pyramid of Giza, Statue of Zeus, the Lighthouse of Alexandria, the Mausoleum, and I believe the other one was the Temple of Artemis. So right here appears to be the Colossus of Rhodes, out here by the bay. Let's go ahead and teleport closer to the dock end. I think I'll just go into free camera mode and take a closer look at this, as it appears that we're just standing over water here. Let's go ahead. Uh-oh. Huh. It appears going out that far actually makes it disappear, which is kind of strange. I have to admit, I was not expecting that. But I should be able to still get a good view up here by staying within what they allow me here to. That is pretty neat. And we have some beach here as well. Actually, let's go ahead and actually, it doesn't seem to want to let me teleport down there, so I guess I'll have to go and take the... Actually, there we go. And we'll go ahead and take a look at the exhibit that's down this way. Probably not following the exact path, but So far, this is quite impressive. I don't know if this is actually made by somebody different, because I don't know if the name Ancient particularly is somebody's name, or if it just means of a categorization, because this is Ancient, so... There we go. And this appears to be the Temple of Zeus here, which once existed, but I believe it was burned down or ransacked. I can't quite remember what happened to it. With the Colossus of Rhodes, an earthquake actually brought it down, and it sat next to where it originally stood on the ground until I believe it was eventually smelted down. So that's your bit of information on the fate of both of these. This one appears to let me get up close, so you can see a little statue in the hand. Very nice. I can already see what appears to be a temple to the left and the pyramid in front of us, obviously. So I think we'll go ahead and head off to, I think probably the temple next here. Might be the Temple of Artemis. Either that or it would be like the Mausoleum, perhaps. Actually, it looks like the pyramid itself might be like a centerpiece of the park. Take a look at the sign here. Tell us where... I believe that's the way we were supposed to go originally, but we sort of took a shortcut. Yeah, it's the Temple of Artemis, and apparently the Hanging Gardens of Babylon is this way as well. As I was stating before, the Hanging Gardens is actually fairly interesting because if you look at some of the backstory to it, there is no actual evidence per se that the Hanging Gardens of Babylon actually existed. So it is kind of curious how they're a seventh wonder of the world, but there isn't actually much in the way of evidence of backing up their existence. There were gardens, I believe, that were in different areas, but they don't know if one actually existed in Babylon or not. I guess we can see a close-up of the pyramid there. And here, right here, is the Temple of Artemis. I want to say this one... I believe most of these were either burned down or ransacked over the times. Either that or the earthquakes. I want to say the Temple of Artemis was ransacked, though. A lot of pillars filling this place out. But yes, the Great Pyramid of Giza is still around, though I believe at this point the entire outer shell of the pyramid is basically gone, besides perhaps the tip. I think they essentially had coated the pyramid in limestone or something along those lines, but I can't quite remember what it was that they had put over it. But all of that is gone, so... Looks like we're coming up on a crossroads here. Looks like the Mausoleum is one way and the Hanging Gardens is the other. So I guess we'll go take a look at the Hanging Gardens next. If I remember the story of the Hanging Gardens is that it was essentially a present from, I believe it was somebody of royalty to their wife, and they had this made, and at some point it was destroyed, as obviously it no longer exists. But since there's not a lot of information around it, there's not much to really go on how it would have been destroyed. Presumably it could have gone derelict at some point, perhaps if the royalty was never around anymore and nobody really cared to take care of it, or perhaps an earthquake destroyed it. If it did in fact actually exist. In any case, these are some steep steps. I have noticed, actually, I was about to mention this, but I have noticed that some of these steps seem to have a bit of a sticking point on them, either from the beginning or the top. Not quite sure what causes that, but if the steps are too big or tall or whatever, it seems to be that, yeah, that top step is a bit taller than the others. And it seems to be, it'll stick you. I guess the avatars aren't very good at climbing stairs. This does look really nice, though, I have to say. Really nice. We don't have too many more to do, actually, I don't think. Just have to look at the Mausoleum and I think the lighthouse. Cannot get quite a grip on this bridge here. And we'll just follow this path through the other cave entrance. I think I'll just teleport step here a bit. Yep, I believe it's just those two that are left. Let's see. Yep, that appears to be so. Unfortunately, I can't remember quite much of anything on these last two. I want to say the lighthouse came down due to an earthquake, but I can't be quite sure. Bit of an autumn feel here, almost. I bet this place would be very nice in VR. I definitely would say try this place out in VR if you have the ability to. It looks like the Mausoleum is off this way. So the lighthouse is probably a bit further up that way. Okay. And for anybody that might not know or remember, a mausoleum is essentially a giant crypt made of a building where they host a lot of the dead, usually things of an entire family or people of particular fortune or status. Mausoleums are mostly out of style at this point. Getting a bit better at this teleporting. I believe it's this way I have to go. Yeah. I came from that way. Yeah. And we can actually see the lighthouse from here, so we are in fact heading in the right direction. I do like the added little details of the benches and the garbage cans and whatnot. It makes you actually feel like an actual park. This looks like it was actually right next to the road, so perhaps I should have gone up this way first, but this doesn't too particularly matter. The roads here from the side, essentially. And here we have the Lighthouse of Alexandria. I want to say at some point this was also considered a library as well. I'm assuming it's not probably going to have an inside area, so I'll likely be free camming outside the building here. Though it does look like it has a bit of an open space. I guess I can check. It doesn't seem to actually, there's nothing here. Okay. And since it's a lighthouse, it's obviously going to be gigantic. Oh yeah, this looks nice. You can see all the detail put into the statues along the sides here. I would definitely recommend this place for a trip either through regular or VR. This park is really nice, and it's actually the biggest thing I've seen so far in regards to Sansar space, so actually it is a fairly decent, good-sized room. In any case, I will see you guys in the next Sansar Travels videos, so see you then.